Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. B&B spoilers. Bill's difficult decision. Poppy's future and Katie's nostalgia. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers document that Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, is dealing with heavy emotions. He nostalgically appreciates Katie Logan, Heather Tom, and affirms what he feels for Poppy Nozawa, Romy Park. Bill considers himself a man's man. Many would disagree, saying that he is not the definition of a strong man. However, the effect Katie and more recently, Poppy have had on Bill cannot be denied. But Katie continues to love him, and Poppy has realized the relationship she only dreamed of for many years after her daughter was born. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. The end for Luna Nozawa. Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, convinced her mother that she was sweet, which makes every other character's reaction completely understandable. The gut-wrenching scene where Poppy saw Luna enter the prison visitor's room was masterful. Poppy just learned she was cleared of both murder charges and that the killer was caught. Poppy never suspected Luna was setting her up. She had no idea, through the moment her only known child was standing before her in the visitor's room, that Luna was the double murderer. Kudos to all involved in this recently wrapped storyline. Yamada was terrific as the revealed villain. This tale was a stunner and will be remembered. B&B spoilers. Poppy Nozawa's time extends. The end for Luna could also signal Park's run coming to an end. There is a plausible pathway out of the show if the writing staff opts for it. Alternatively, a triangle may have already been created. It's reasonable to think that the rediscovered woman in Bill's life will stay in Los Angeles, California. It's also a short leap to assume Poppy will remain in Bill's mansion. She intriguingly knew Bill before Katie. So while she and Bill were apart for 20 years in soap time, Poppy apparently knows him for a longer period than Katie unless viewers are specifically informed otherwise. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Katie Logan has the stronger pull. Bill's love for Katie runs longer and more profound than that of Poppy. Katie is also the actual mother of his child. Luna's cruel, multi-stage paternity scheme threw everyone involved in multiple loops. The outcome meant that Tom's star, Clint Howard, was Luna's father. As the audience knows, she did not want someone of his perceived low caliber to be her dad, and so the overdose happened. Erasing Luna as Bill's daughter may not mean that Poppy is out of his life. However, he appreciates Katie's effort to address the issues that led to Luna's exposure. That reminded Bill how vital Tom's character is in his life, and what he felt and may again feel for his Katie. This site is a leading source for everything linked to the Bold and the Beautiful. The mood at Spencer Publications was heavy as Bill Spencer sat behind his grand mahogany desk, gazing out of the window at the LA skyline. The world outside was bright, vibrant, full of life, but the weight pressing on his chest made everything feel dimmer, as though a fog had settled over him. Bill was known for his decisiveness, for the ruthless way he made choices that left others shaken in his wake. Yet now, as he faced the most challenging decision of his life, he was unsure. Poppy. Her name echoed in his mind like a bittersweet refrain. From the moment she'd entered his life, Poppy had been a whirlwind of energy and unpredictability, a force of nature who had turned his world upside down. There was something about her, something intoxicating that had drawn Bill in. But now, as she sat on the verge of losing everything after the shocking revelation of her secret drug business, Bill found himself at a crossroads. Her future hung in the balance, and so did his. Poppy's entanglement with those happy mints had shattered the delicate trust Bill had built with her, and yet, he couldn't deny the pull she had on him. She had pleaded for his help, tears glistening in her eyes, asking for just one more chance. One more chance to make things right, to prove she wasn't the woman she seemed to have become. But was Bill ready to gamble everything he had, his family, his reputation, his own sense of morality for her? Bill clenched his jaw, the muscles in his neck tightening as he tried to make sense of the emotions swirling inside him. He wasn't the kind of man to be swayed by sentimentality, but Poppy had stirred something deeper in him. He thought back to the beginning, the way she had brought light and laughter into his life when he least expected it. But then there was Katie. Katie Logan. The memory of her was never far from Bill's mind, especially now, as he faced this decision about Poppy. Katie had always been his moral compass, the voice that guided him when he lost his way. She had seen the best in him when others had only seen the ruthless businessman. They had been through so much together, highs and lows, betrayals and reconciliations. Their love had been intense, complicated, but always real. Now, with Katie on the periphery of his life, a pang of nostalgia gripped Bill's heart. Katie had been in the office just the other day, dropping off some documents related to Will. Seeing her had stirred up old feelings, memories of their life together, and how different things had been. Katie had always been grounded, steady, a contrast to the whirlwind that was Poppy. She had known him better than anyone, understood his flaws, and had loved him anyway. Bill wondered if, deep down, she still loved him, even after all the pain they had caused each other. Katie had offered her opinion on Poppy, though she hadn't said much. "She's not good for you, Bill," Katie had said softly, her eyes filled with concern. "I know you're drawn to her, but think about what she's already cost you. Sometimes people come into our lives to teach us a lesson, but that doesn't mean they're meant to stay." Her words had haunted him ever since. Katie always had a way of cutting through the noise, of seeing things clearly when Bill couldn't, but he wasn't sure if he was ready to listen to her this time. Poppy wasn't just a passing fling, she had gotten under his skin, and walking away from her now felt impossible. Bill rose from his desk, pacing the room as he replayed the moment when he first realized the depth of Poppy's deception. The night of her arrest had been chaotic. Poppy's world had come crashing down, and so had Bill's. He had stood there, watching as she was taken away in handcuffs, her eyes wide with fear, silently begging him to do something. His instinct had been to fight for her, to protect her, but the deeper part of him knew that this might be the end of the line. And then there was Katie. While Bill was grappling with Poppy's future, Katie had been distant yet close, always lingering in his mind. She had been spending more time with Carter Walton, and Bill couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy. He didn't like the idea of Katie moving on, especially not with someone like Carter, who seemed so opposite of Bill's aggressive nature, but maybe that was exactly what Katie needed, someone who could offer her the stability Bill never could. Bill stopped in front of the window, his reflection staring back at him, hard and uncertain. He was a man used to power, to controlling every aspect of his life and the people around him. But this Poppy, Katie, the choices he had to make, felt different. It was personal in a way that nothing else had ever been. If he chose to fight for Poppy, he knew there would be consequences. His reputation would be further tarnished, and his relationship with Katie, already fragile, could shatter completely. But if he let Poppy go, if he walked away now, he might lose something rare, something that had brought him joy in a way he hadn't felt in years. Katie's face flashed in his mind again, her soft smile, the way she used to look at him with so much hope, so much belief that he could be a better man. He missed that look. He missed her. And maybe that was the answer, the realization that was slowly sinking in. Bill sighed, running a hand through his hair. His heart felt heavy, but the decision was becoming clearer. Poppy had been a distraction, a wild, thrilling chapter in his life, but Katie had always been his anchor. She had always been there, and maybe it was time to stop chasing the chaos and start rebuilding something real. He would help Poppy in whatever way he could, but it was time to close that chapter. Bill reached for his phone, dialing Katie's number before he could second-guess himself. The past few weeks had reminded him of something important. Sometimes, nostalgia wasn't just about memories. Sometimes it was about recognizing what you've lost and finding a way to get it back. As the phone rang, Bill stood by the window, watching the LA skyline, feeling a sense of peace for the first time in weeks. Whatever happened next, he knew he was making the right choice. Katie had always been his true north, and maybe it wasn't too late to find his way back.